Football Show with Pub in Rochester Hills. My name is Neil Will, the voice of the Golden Grizzlies. Of course, he is the coach, Greg Campy. And Camp, you make an entrance, man. Slide right in there.
I've been here since 4:45 or 5:15, sitting over there with some friends I haven't seen in a while.
Oh, for real? All right, well, that's good. I didn't see you over there.
I know
Camp.
It's hard to believe that I have any friends, but one or two.
All right, Camp. You can get involved with the show, by the way, on X, Twitter, whatever you guys call it. I still call it Twitter, but whatever you want to do, send a question in with the hashtag #AskCampy. If you're watching on the Golden Grizzlies YouTube channel, go ahead and fire away in the message board on there as well. So multiple ways to get involved with the show. We'll get to those questions coming up at about 6:30 or so. Malcolm Christie is in the house. He will join us coming up in about 15 minutes as well. But Camp, kind of recapping the week that was, one game last Thursday night, Eastern Michigan. You guys fell 68-64. Just kind of give the recap of that and what you saw.
Well, honestly, it's a bad loss for us. It really is a bad loss. We haven't lost to them in a regular season game and since like 2016 or something like that. And that's a game we always want to point for because it's an in-state school. It's a school we recruit against and so it's a game that for our coaching staff and that it's a very important game for us. And we just didn't get done what we had to get done in the second half. Everybody that saw it understands that. So it was disappointing, but in the growth of the team, I think you look back and that same game last year was the Toledo game. Almost identical to the Toledo game at our place. In that, we had a decent-sized lead in the first half. The beginning of the second half, we played very poorly. Toledo took the lead. We came back, and the only difference in the Toledo game is we got screwed on the last play, a foul that wasn't called, and Trey would have had 2 free throws instead. It was a no call, and we lost by 1. In our game against Eastern, we had the ball with 30 seconds to go to tie it, and we got 2 shots off, and they didn't go in. So very similar, and it's not something that you pull your hair out and say, this is awful, we're going to be terrible. You just look at it as a learning experience. We wanted to win that game just like we wanted to win the Toledo game, but as the year went on, we grew from it, and that's what we have to do. We have to grow from these losses. We have to learn from it. The good is that we had 9 days after this to get ready for Toledo, and we've been able to look at the film. Normally after a game like that, we wouldn't have time to, break the film down on that with the team because we'd be on our way to Puerto Rico or the Cayman Islands to play in the Thanksgiving tournament. And everybody's doing that this week, and we're not because,
it's weird, yeah.
It is different that I'm reading, I'm sitting in my office and I hear the UConn game. Colin's watching it in the office next to me, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why is UConn? Oh, that's right. It's Thanksgiving. It's, we would be doing this normally. And so it's different, but I'm glad. I'm glad it happened this way because it's given us time to get better. And, we had a practice yesterday, and I would tell you it's probably in the 41 years I've been a head coach, it's probably the first time in my coaching career that we spent all 2 hours and 15 minutes on offense. We did not do a defensive drill. We did not even speak the word defense. Everything we did was on offense. And then today, we went, considering all the, the pre-practice, practice, then post-practice, where we went in a classroom. We actually went in a classroom after practice, and we spent time having players draw plays, and more importantly, recite to me, why would I call that play, and what are we trying to accomplish when we run the play, and then what are the options in the play if they take this away? What's your next progression? What's your next progression? And we didn't do very well in the classroom today, and that's part of our problem. And it's when you have 11 new players, you don't have guys that have done those things before that can calm the storms when things go bad. And so it's a different experience for us, and it's kind of been a good week of practice. I think we've gotten better and improved, and I think they're understanding more what I want. And it was really good today. But we went probably 2.5 hours with pre-practice, practice, and the classroom session, and we spent 20 minutes on defense. The rest of the 2.5 hours, everything was on offense. I've never done that before. So it's obvious that the problem with our team right now is we can't score, and more than half of that is that we can't make a shot. But we were, in all my coaching career, I'd never seen this before. In the first half against Eastern, we were 13 of 14 from the 2. I mean, think about those numbers. We were 13 of 14 inside the arc in the first half, and we had an 8-point lead at halftime. We were 1 for 6 from the 3, which I'm fine with that. If we were 1 for 15, I wouldn't have been fine with it. We were scoring inside. We recognized it. We were 1 for 6 from the 3. The problem was we turned it over 7 times. 7 turnovers in the first half. So instead of, if we would have scored on just 2 of the 7 possessions, my guess is our average would have been 3. But say we scored on 3 of the 7 possessions, which isn't even a point of possession, we're up 12 we're up 14 at halftime.
Right.
And that's a different story. So, we've got to learn to handle the basketball, take care of the basketball. A lot of the turnovers were unforced because we're trying to run some sets, and our point guard play has been sporadic in understanding what the plays are. And that's why, if you thought I was acting a little crazy early in the game, that's why. It's because we would call something and we weren't running what we were calling. That's part of the progression, though. So I'm okay with it. You're never okay with a loss, but I'm okay with how it went down. I really like the fact that we battled back. We talk a lot, and I talk a lot to the players, not just in basketball, but in life. You're going to make a mistake, but 1 mistake can't become 2, 2 can't become 3, 3 can't become 4. And in the second half of that game, they went on a streak where they scored 13 points in 5 possessions, and it was all mistake-driven. It wasn't what Eastern made the shot, so you got to give them credit for that, but it was mistake-driven. A mistake on offense that led to a turnover, that led to a wide-open shot. A mistake in the zone defense that led to a wide-open 3. We've gone away.
Jonathan, we're all right? We back up, Camp?
I don't know. Mine's not.
Yours isn't?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, we are still on the radio there, Camp. No, but when you look at it, and look, like, it's tough, right? Because you didn't get the result in the end, so it does kind of wash some things away. But Baru, 7 for 9 from the floor in that game. Alan McCabe. Now there's two McCabe stories, I guess you could look at, Camp, in that, yes, he was 4 of 5 from the floor, but did foul out as well. So,
well, 3 of the 5 fouls weren't fouls. So I was really mad and angry at him. But then when I saw the film, he told me they were bull, whatever the word he would want to add to bull. That's the word he used. And when I saw the film, he was right. They were not. We just got done playing Kansas at Kansas, Illinois at Illinois, Boise State. Those were the games we had played. And so you play the game a certain way, a physicality way, and then it's completely changed in our own gym. So I was really angry with him, and especially his 4th foul, which was a foul. When you have 3, you can't do that 1 minute into the second half, and that's a learning experience for him. It's the first time in his life, I think, that his coach and the players on the team are telling him, you're really, really an important piece here. We got to have you on the floor. You're not a rotational player now. You're a star. So you got to play like a star, and you got to think like a star, and you got to understand that there are plays you need to take off, and I'm okay with that. And there's times that you need to, pull it back in. Jamal Cain did the same thing when he got here. If you guys remember Jamal at the top of that zone early on in that season, he would commit 2 or 3 of the dumbest fouls ever committed, trying to be aggressive in that, right? And so he had to learn, just like Allen's got to learn, and Allen will learn. But 3 of the 5 fouls were not fouls. And when your star only plays 15 minutes, you're going to struggle.
Camp, when you look at it from that perspective, too, talking about it, with Allen, as you said, like, he's the guy, right? And we've seen it, and we've seen it pay off. We saw him go into Kansas and have his way with Hunter Dickinson just as many times as Hunter did it, if not more than Hunter did it to him. And he battled in probably the toughest environment against the best players in the nation, and he was a guy out there. The game against Eastern, when you say take plays off, because the fans will hear that, right? And maybe the buzzword, right? Like taking plays off, what the connotation, what that kind of sounds like. But there does come a time in a basketball game for that. You know what I'm saying? And you've talked about that before. The demands that you've had on your players, Kay and Kendrick and all these guys, they're going to play 40 minutes. They're going to play all the time. And there does come a time where you can't be 100% on every single play all the time.
Well, especially with the physicality side of it. There's going to be times in the zone where he's got 3 or 4 fouls and a guy's got the ball on the block, and you've just got to wall up and stay still. And if the guy makes a play, and we give up 2 points, right? But that's way more important, having you on the floor, than giving up those 2 points, picking up a 4th or 5th foul. So those are what I mean by that. Also, you'll see I have no problem with him in transition to offense, never to defense. Never would I be okay with walking to defense. But having him walk up the floor to offense, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. We did it with Townsend. We did it with Kay Felder. We've done it with all the great players we've had. There are times that we have to manipulate the amount of minutes you're going to play. In that game, Alan McCabe, I think, was a plus 11. So what that means is during the 15 minutes he played, Oakland had an 11-point advantage. So I'm not real good at math, but I'm smart enough to understand that that's probably we would want him on the floor, right? This thing keeps going in and out. But
yeah, Jonathan, but whatever you're twisting and turning over there. Yeah.
But anyway, so we need him on the floor, and he's got to learn how to play on the floor, and I've got to learn how to trust him, and he's got to learn both too. So, and we will. That's what November games are about.
No question about it. You are listening to the Greg Campy Show, as always, brought to you by Henry Ford Health and Henry Ford Sports Medicine, the official team physicians for Oak University and you. For more information, visit henryford.com/athlete. Just as a heads up, Camp, for the Ask Campy stuff, there's a heavy Thanksgiving tone to it. A lot of people are asking cross-comparative if Oakland basketball this week coming up, are they more the cranberry sauce, are they more the mashed potato? So just be prepared for that, all right? And also, too, I want you to share a Campy go-to recipe, but that's coming up a little bit later on in the Thanksgiving discussion. And certainly, too, we'll get into it, the matchup against Toledo, and that's coming up, of course, this Saturday. But we are in the midst of Feast Week, and you're seeing it all over college basketball on pretty much all day long, which never is a bad thing. I guess the other storyline, Camp, about the game at Eastern, 3 for 18 from behind the three-point line, and that was something that people were talking about. And, I guess you could say that the struggles kind of continued, but you talked about it. It's something you're addressing in practice as we speak.
Well, I'm not addressing. I'm not addressing the shooting. That shooting's not on me. That shooting's on them. I mean, they're 22, 20. Our shooters, our guys that we expect to make those shots, are all fifth-year, fourth-year guys who have a history of making shots. So all I can do is tell them to keep shooting, and we're going to. We're going to keep shooting. But it's historically bad. And when I say historical, I don't mean Oakland University historical. Right now there's 364 teams in Division I, and we rank 364th in three-point shooting. We rank 364th in 3 points made per game. So it's historic, to think that an Oakland program that is known for three-point shooting and great three-point shooters would be last in that. I guarantee you we won't be last at the end of the year. I believe that we will make shots. From my standpoint, I'm not going to chastise, criticize. I'm just going to tell them to keep shooting. That's what we do. Now, we have to execute our offense better so that, we want to play from the inside out. And we always have. Even when we had Travis Bader and players like that, we want to play from the inside out. We've got some really, really good inside players, and we've got to continue to play at the basket. And then you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to double team? And right now, if I'm prepping for Oakland, I'm going to double team Allen. I'm going to double team Baru. And our shooters who are shooting, 12%, 14%, 18%, they're going to get step in open threes. And all it's going to take is a couple to go in, and they'll relax and they'll start playing. So I'm not worried about it. Is it a concern? Sure, it's a concern. You're shooting 17% from the three. I mean, it's a number I've never heard of. So is it a concern? Yes. But it's not something that I'm going to change or we're going to change. We're going to keep playing because we know that our formula is a winning formula.
How's that, Camp?
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. All right. There we go. Hey, I'm learning from you, Camp.
Just touch that thing.
Greg Campy, audio expert.
Yeah.
There it is. One last thing, Camp, before we get Malcolm Christie up here to chop it up with our weekly player staff interview. Again, Baru 7-9, Alan McCabe 4-5. The big thing is real. Like the thing with the bigs, it's real, Camp. And look, you've been a guy, and throughout your history, throughout the history of Oakland basketball, we've always had. You always kind of leaned on the guards. Now, certainly we've had great bigs that have come through the program as well. Is there any kind of adjustment for you in terms of playing it through the post and making sure your bigs get the touches? Because the percentages and the resume that they've put up, it can't be denied.
Yeah, I think that's a myth. I think if you look at our great teams, let's go to any great team we have. And, I mean, last year, who was the leading scorer? Trey Townsend, right? We had Bader, and we had Lampman, and we had Golke, right? And everybody had to worry about that, but they had to worry about them because we had Trey inside. You go to Keith Benson. We had Reggie Hamilton, and we had Travis Bader, and we had Brad Buddenborg, and we had Eric Kangas, and we've always had a big that could score. And so if you have a big that can score and they have to make a decision, that allows you to get better looks from the three. The three was such a new concept and such a talked about concept by basic fans, because fans really didn't understand the analytics of the three. I think today they do. I think that the analytics of three-point shooting, because the NBA turned into a three-point shooting, long before the NBA bought into the three-point, schools like Oakland University were using it to win games. Once Steph Curry came along and the three-point line became such a important piece of the NBA, now I think Joe Fan understands the three. So I think that's where this myth comes from, that, we've always been guard-oriented and we've always been three-point oriented. We've shot a lot of threes, but I think we've always been get it inside and then throw it outside oriented. And that's just a belief I've always had, and that's how we do things. And that's why I'm not worried. I'm not worried. My biggest concern about this year, Neil, was could we score in the post? That was my biggest concern. When Chris Conway left and I found out he was leaving 2 days before the portal closed, I was in a panic because he was the guy that was going to score inside for us. My staff did an unbelievable job. And I knew Baru would be, but I didn't know if he was going to be ready, right? I knew that down the road, Baru was going to be able to do what Conway and what Trey Townsend could do. I just don't know if he could do it this year at that level. But my staff went out and found Allen and got Allen, and he's proven that he's got a chance to be something special. And so the biggest concern I had, we figured out. I thought the biggest good feeling I had about this team is I thought this team could be as good a defensive team as I've ever had because of the way we rebound. And when we get Isaiah Jones back, I think it will be the best rebounding team. Based on the first 5 games and what I know Isaiah can do, I think it will be the best rebounding team I've ever had. And if we're that good defensively and the best rebounding team I've ever had, we'll be able to compete with anybody in our league and we'll be in any game. If we shoot 17% from the 3 for the season, we will not win the league championship. We will not. I don't believe we will shoot 17% from the 3.
All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Malcolm Christie. You're listening to the Oakland Basketball Show live at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills, brought to you by Henry Ford Health.
Your Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Drives to the basket, and it's in!
The biggest games on the blacktop.
4-3. Of course! Borowski from 3!
We need you there.
Golden Grizzlies fans, get out your dancing shoes!
Your Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Drives to the basket, and it's in!
The biggest games on the blacktop.
4-3. Of course! Borowski from 3!
We need you there.
Golden Grizzlies fans, get out your dancing shoes!
Welcome back to RJ's Pub here in Rochester Hills. It is the Oakland Basketball Show brought to you by Henry Ford Health. My name is Neil Rule, the voice of the Golden Grizzlies. And right now we are joined by a new addition to the Oakland basketball roster this season. It is Malcolm Christie. Malcolm, I appreciate you coming up here and joining us. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, awesome. Excited about the chance to get to rap with you a little bit here. I'm always amazed, we're talking to the minds of shooters and stuff like that. And we certainly do have a lot of stuff to touch on. But for those that don't know, number one, you're not the only Canadian in the house here. Daniela is a native of Canada as well. She's excited to see you here.
Love it.
Yeah. New Brunswick, Canada.
Yep.
Sounds cold.
Yeah. It gets cold. Yeah.
What was the road from New Brunswick, Canada, here to Oakland University?
I grew up. AAU wasn't really a thing. Where in Canada, a lot of the time, especially out east, you play for your provincial team in the summer. So it'd be like if there was a state team. And at the end of the summer, all the teams come together and play at nationals. And so there wasn't really the whole, AAU or circuits, none of that exposure. I played public school and provincial basketball. And I was lucky enough to get an offer to a university in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Dalhousie, where I played for 3 years. And I had a good last year, especially a great year. And the opportunity presented itself to make the switch and come play in the States, which I don't think anyone from back home in New Brunswick, as a man anyway, has ever done. So it was kind of one of those opportunities of I can't really pass this up. I think there's a lot of people that are that haven't had this opportunity, and a lot of kids that see me playing here. So it was just something that I was really excited about, and it's kind of it's very new. It's very new, but it was a different road than most people, I think.
No, it is, and I didn't know that angle of your story. So I got to imagine when you're running up and down the floor at Kansas, the number one team in the nation.
High anymore.
Yeah. right. But I mean, do you stop and take that in, especially like an environment like that? I mean, that is the mecca of college basketball in America. Could you believe that you were running up and down that floor?
Well, during the game, while you're out there, and like when you're into it, I feel like I'm not really thinking about it as much.
Right.
When we were there for the shoot around before, and then at the end of the game when it was done, and my parents were there too. It was pretty cool to see them and be like, we just played there. That was really cool.
Yeah.
But in the heat of the game and while it was going on, that wasn't really where my mind was. Once it was finished, though, I was kind of like, this is a pretty special place.
Malcolm Christie joining us here on the Oakland Basketball Show here at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills. All right, Malcolm, I have some Canada questions for you, all right?
Okay.
Why is Canadian Thanksgiving so early?
I don't know. I mean, why is your guys so late? Like I'm in Christmas mode.
Well, there's like we got to have like one a month. I think that's the rule in America. Yeah, you have to have like one thing a month. And November was open, so they just kind of slotted it in.
Yeah.
But is there like an official reason? Does it have something to do with history or anything like that?
I'm sure it does. I really have no idea.
Okay,
I just know that it's earlier. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I assume you're a big hockey guy.
Surprisingly, no, but probably more than most people out here for sure. But back home, not at all.
No for a Canadian or no
exactly.
for a hockey fan.
No for a Canadian.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So you keep up to some degree.
I like hockey. Yeah.
Okay.
I try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. What else do I have? What is Boxing Day?
Boxing Day that's the day after Christmas.
Right.
Yeah. The reason or like why? I don't know. It's how it is.
Canadians are chill, man. You guys are chill, man.
Yeah,
like you're just
It's Boxing Day.
No, absolutely. Talking with Malcolm Christie. How you fitting in so far here at Oakland? Just you being around you guys and traveling with you guys and stuff like that. You strike me and tell me if I'm wrong. You're a little more of a quiet guy.
Yeah, I
to
think
some degree.
To a certain extent, I think that's. Being in a new environment and a new place has definitely played a little role in that. But the guys, the coaching staff, everyone's welcomed me, brought me in. It definitely feels a lot easier now than that first month of being away and in a new place. We've been struggling and to score the ball, which is frustrating. But
sure.
I think as far as myself and fitting in, I trust the work that I put in, and I know they're going to fall. It's law of averages.
Well, I mean, just looking at you though, and looking at your shot mechanics, and like I'm an idiot media guy. I don't pretend that I'm not, but I have called a lot of these games, and your shot, the mechanics of it and stuff like that, and I think that's something that maybe the common fan has a tougher time wrapping their head around. You guys. Athletes are amazing in your ability to compartmentalize. And when things aren't going well, all right, they didn't go well tonight, they'll go well tomorrow. And then you go on to the next one. And if it doesn't, you'll say, all right, they'll go well tomorrow. I mean, there will be a point, and Malcolm, like the discussions that I've had when people have asked me about Oakland basketball, I would say the resumes that you see on that paper right now are not the resumes. They're not.
No.
They're just not. I see you. I see what your skill set is. I see what your game is.
Right.
In water always finds its level, right? Like if you're a 40% guy, you'll end up at 40%.
Yep.
So I would imagine you're a guy that thinks you're going to have a 6-game run where you're 50% from behind the three-point. There's not a doubt in your mind, is there?
It's coming soon. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but there it is, and you're just kind of matter of fact about it, man. I love it.
Yeah. I think that's especially for shooting, it's so much of it is mental that the last thing that that I can do is start to believe the thoughts or the words that people say. I know what I can do, and I trust the work that I put in, and I think it's simple. It's gonna work out. It's coming soon. Yeah, it's frustrating right now. That's all.
No, Malcolm Christie, our guest here on the Oakland Basketball Show. One other Canada question for you.
Yeah.
Canadian football.
Okay. Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Well, I don't really. I mean, we grew up NFL fans.
Okay.
There wasn't a whole lot of CFL in our house. I think we were talking about it before. I think there's 3 downs.
Yes. That's about it.
It's about it. Yeah, it's you know.
Now I did see in the news CFL's talking about getting an expansion team, possibly in Halifax, maybe Quebec City.
Okay.
They've been talking about it. But you pledge if Halifax gets a Canadian football team, you're in.
I'm all in. Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
I'll be a diehard Halifax blank football team. Yeah.
Other sports, you mentioned football. What else you doing? Like in your time away from basketball, what are you doing?
I like to have a lot of balance. My hobbies outside of basketball are completely unrelated. I like to play the guitar. I like to draw. Most of my tattoos are my own sketches. Just things that can kind of take my mind completely away from basketball and bring that balance into my life and give me a different look.
How good are you on guitar? Like what level on Guitar Hero?
I don't know about Guitar Hero, but I'm getting a little better. Yeah,
are you?
I'm getting good. Yeah.
We got a record deal coming soon.
Okay. Well, let me know. Yeah.
All right. Talking with Malcolm Christie. I guess lastly, Malcolm, before we let you go, the season so far, and ultimately, you said it yourself. Like it's not what you've wanted it to be, but you see this team and the advantages that this team has, and you look at Baru. And you look at the advantages you guys have in the post. This is just a matter of time, isn't it, before it pops?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think, the bigs that we have and the way that they've been playing, they've been killing. They've been doing a great job. And so I think it's on us as guards, and we know that. We talk about it. We gotta pick it up, and I believe we will.
All right, we have some Ask Sam questions, or Ask Malcolm questions coming in from Sam Mallet. I'm the biggest Malcolm Christie believer here. Who wins in a tussle, Dal Tiger or a Golden Grizzly?
I can't answer that question. I think it's a draw. They both go out.
It's a draw. It goes to the judge's decision?
Judge's decision.
People want you to talk about the Amherst Shore as well.
Love the Amherst Shore. It's a sacred place. We have a family cottage there. Lots of family out there. It's out east in Canada.
Okay, so Canadians, you guys go out east instead of up north. See, here in Michigan, we all go up north.
Up north.
You guys go out east.
I mean, I'm already out east. That's where we grew up. You just go as far east as you can, I guess. Get on the water.
How cold is it up there for real?
It's not that different from here. From right now, no. We get a lot more snow, but the temperature, I think, it can get bad. It can get very bad. But we also do it differently. Minus 10 is, or if it's 5 degrees here, you guys do it differently.
Yeah, in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, we're in Celsius.
What do you make? What's better, the way of measuring here or the way of measuring in Canada?
No, I think back home makes way more sense. I don't understand miles or Fahrenheit.
Well, because it's made up.
Yeah.
Like I've always said, look.
So you agree?
Yeah, I do agree with you. Like you guys are based on 10 and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Seems easier.
Yeah.
We just have random numbers.
Yeah, I don't understand why 32 is the.
That's random. Somebody made that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
No, Malcolm, you're a great sport, man. I certainly do appreciate it, and as always, man, appreciate the conversation, and looking forward to doing it again, my friend.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, give it up to Malcolm Christie, everybody. We'll be back with more of the Oakland Basketball Show, brought to you by Henry Ford Health. We're live at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills.
Your Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Drives to the basket, and it's in!
The biggest games on the blacktop.
4-3. Of course! Borowski from 3!
We need you there.
Golden Grizzlies fans, get out your dancing shoes!
Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Drives to the basket, and it's in!
The biggest games on the blacktop.
4-3. Of course! Borowski from three!
We need you there.
Golden Grizzlies fans, get out your dancing shoes!
Back at it, the Oakland Basketball Show. We're live at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills. He is the coach, Greg Campy. My name is Neil Rule. Happy to have you with us if you're watching on the Golden Grizzlies YouTube channel, listening on 1270 AM, the Bet, the Odyssey app, your radio home for Golden Grizzlies basketball.
I got a question.
Yes.
Now that we're streaming this, and look how nice they've made the Santa or snowman and the fireplace,
Yeah,
and
it's a
how
fireside.
nice it looks, and you're wearing that crappy hat, and what are we doing here?
What are you talking about, Cam?
You're wearing a baseball hat on TV.
I got Nick Pumford's Oakland Golf sweatshirt on,
Well, that's
man.
true, but you have a baseball hat on. I mean, seriously?
I,
What do you guys think? Huh? Should he dress professionally, or should he have a baseball hat on? Come on.
be honest.
What did he say?
Yeah, they don't like the Youngstown Penguin behind you. It's got Youngstown vibes to it.
Oh yeah, it is kind of. What do you guys think? Should he?
I think the crowd's just saying he should just be comfortable.
I mean, this is being it's the
Worldwide.
It's the most watched show on this station
at this
Yeah,
time.
right, at this time. I mean, come on.
I mean, we got Jack Golke leaving messages in here. Ask Campy, do you take video call guests for future shows? We'll have to we'll get that figured out, Jack. We
tell
will.
him that we do that, but it's usually with guys that did something for our program.
Yeah. Man, Camp's taking a flamethrower to this whole thing right now. No, this is your time, everybody, to get involved. It is the Ask Campy portion of the program. Camp, somebody asked earlier when Malcolm was here, and I didn't see it till after he left. Do the Canadian Thanksgiving, are you familiar with the food and everything like that for it? You're an educated food guy. Do they do the same stuff we do? Do you know?
I might be an educated food guy, but you'd have to ask Malcolm
Yeah.
that because I live in the United States.
Okay, but you know, you're a connoisseur.
No.
Of international cuisine?
No, I mean, I've been to Canada. I think we've all been to Canada, haven't we? But when I've been in Canada, I had some pretty good meals in Toronto. I'll tell you what, there is great in Canada is theater. If you like theater, especially musical theater, it might be the best in the world. Other than that, I'd rather be in our country.
Yeah.
Sorry, Malcolm.
Yeah.
Although the golf course, I will give you that, Malcolm. The Cabot Lodge golf course is phenomenal. I would put it in the top. I'd put Cabot Cliffs in the top 10 I've ever played.
All right, Camp, you ready for some Ask Campy?
Sure.
All right, Pittsburgh Marty will lead things off. We know the three-point free throw shooting has been a little suspect so far. You have to believe it will improve to the mean. What things is the staff doing in an attempt to reverse this trend? Sticking to the plan, different mental approach, focusing more on interior game?
Yeah, I kind of answered that already, Marty.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were listening. I believe it. I brought those kids here, and you want to know what else we're doing this year that we have never done before? We're paying them, right? We're paying them. So they're being paid to make shots. So they better start making them. I told DQ, I said, DQ, if you don't start making shots, you're going to have to start giving me some of that money back. He laughed. He didn't realize I was serious.
MD Fun 89, who's in the house tonight. Other than Portillo's, what's your favorite short order restaurants? I guess that's a fancy name for fast food, perhaps, or?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Portillo's is just in a world by itself. I will tell you this. I love chicken tenders. I don't know if maybe it's the kid in me or not. I like them. There's a place. It's a tea place across the street. You know where Buffalo Wild Wings is? Behind Buffalo Wild Wings in there's a Kung Fu Tea, I think it's called. Is that what it's called, Colin? Because I had him go get it for the team. Their chicken fingers are out of this world. And then you're going to laugh at me for this, but when I grew up, Kentucky Fried Chicken was, who didn't eat Kentucky Fried Chicken when we were kids? You know, nobody eats it anymore, I don't think, but when we were kids, we all ate it. Well, they just came out with a chicken tender, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it's really good. I would tell you to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and order a 5-piece chicken tender, and you'll thank me.
Also here, ask Campy and get your thoughts out there on Twitter. Get your questions on Twitter.
How did I even know that they came up? I saw a commercial. That's how. And I said, I'm going to stop there and try it. Because I used to, when I was a kid, man, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Finger licking good.
Finger licking good. That's right. Austin, who's in the house here tonight. If the Eastern game had been so close down the stretch, would you have considered getting a double tech to have the officiating reviewed?
It was that obvious. You know, I've tried to turn the page in how I handle officials. I've been around so long now, and I know so many of them. Now, a couple of the ones we had the other night were brand new. My feeling on that was I let the people in charge know how I felt about that game. And I usually don't do that. But Coach Smith he's still like I used to be. Smitty's still at that point of his life. And we were not happy with that. And in no way, you know, I'm not allowed to criticize officials in that, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm answering your question. You know, I'm just past that point now. I can't change it, and I can't focus on it like I used to. I think I've just moved on from it. And I know how hard that job is. I really do. I know how hard that job is. And, you know, my goal is to try and help them get better. That's all. And there are ways to do that away from the court, and that's what I'm going to try and do.
More with the hashtag Ask Campy. Nick Lucido is also here in the house. Coach, do you feel like this team's shooting for our upcoming game will be cranberry sauce smooth or more like lumpy mashed potatoes? Happy Thanksgiving. Ask Campy.
Well, I appreciate the happy Thanksgiving. Are you a white meat or a dark meat guy? You're a white. I'm a dark meat guy. So the only time I eat the white meat is the day after. If you take it, put a little mayo on some rye bread and make a sandwich, to me, that's the only time white turkey is good. I don't like it off the bone or whatever, but I like the dark meat, as long as it's smothered in gravy and that. I have no idea when we're going to start shooting the ball, nor am I focusing on it or worrying about it, because if I do that, I'm going to be part of the problem, right? If I start worrying about it and I start focusing on it, I'll put too much pressure on our players. And so I'm not going to even worry about it. I believe in them, and I believe they're going to make them. I want them to keep shooting. Now, I don't think that we should be firing threes until we do start making them. I think that they need to be the right three. The ball needs to get to the post and come out. We need to get an offensive rebound and kick it out to you. If I run a set play to you to shoot the three, then shoot it. But to just come up and fire it, I don't think at this stage our team needs that. And that's the only criticism that I would have of a player if he takes one that I think is ill-advised. Now, eventually one of our shooters is going to make one, then he's going to make two, then he's going to make three in a row, and then he's going to think he's Steph Curry again, and then he's going to take a bad one. I'll be okay with that. But we are going to figure it out. Here's the thing. Our goal is to go to the NCAA tournament. No matter what happens now, we're nowhere near reaching that goal. We could be 5-0 and we're not near it. All that does right now for us is seeding in the NCAA tournament. You know, if we beat Michigan State and Arkansas and go to Hawaii and win that tournament, we're going to be a 12th seed, no matter what we've done up to this. So it's still out there in front of us. And then the second most important thing is the conference. So we're 0-0 in the conference. We have the same record as every other team in our league. So there's no time to panic, no time to worry about. And I believe for the people that have been around our program for years, historically, we're not very good in November. And I think part of that's the zone and part of that's your coach. We're just never very good in November. We're not that great in December either, but we're usually pretty damn good in February. So we're going to continue that stretch.
Daniela, our resident Canadian insider, has responded. Turkey, dressing, gravy, smashed potatoes, basically the same thing. So it's basically the same in Canada as it is here.
So they had pilgrims in Canada too?
I'm not a history buff. I don't.
Well, isn't that
possibly?
Weren't we all taught that that's what the Pilgrims fed the Indians? Right?
Yeah.
That's what I learned. I mean, Defiance, Ohio. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the educational system in Defiance, Ohio, but it was the Pilgrims and the Indians, and we caught the turkeys and we made the potatoes. And
Matt from the Horizon Roundtable, hashtag Ask Campy. Feels like this team has a bird in the oven, side dishes keeping warm, the pumpkin pie chilling in the fridge, but hasn't figured out what comes next. How do you get them to bring it all to the table for the perfect meal?
That's a good question, and I don't think I'm the guy that figures that out. I think they're the people that have to figure that out. I get way too much credit and way too much criticism. It's on them, and we're doing things the way we do them. We believe in them. I care a great deal about these kids, and they care a great deal about each other, and they'll figure it out. I really believe we'll figure it out. I think we have a good basketball team. I really do. Are we great? We're going to prove if we are or not. But I think we're pretty damn good. And right now, as I said on TV after the game Thursday night, I said, we're not a very good basketball team right now. And we aren't. But I would have said the exact same thing at this time last year. We have the makings of a good team. We got to shoot the ball better. We also got to play smarter, not turn it over, and keep our good players on the floor.
Trill Gunderson on Twitter, hashtag Ask Campy. Pros wear baseball caps. So that's what he thinks about the whole hat discussion.
Pro baseball players do, yeah.
All right, hey.
I got no problem with it, but look at the picture on the screen right now. Look how good you look in that suit coat.
All right, I'll wear the suit coat next week.
No,
we're going all the way in. We're going all the way in.
I'm good with the bear head. I'm good with the golf thing. I'm just wondering about the baseball hat.
We're going all the way in next week. All the way in. I think that about does it. Camp, we talked about it. This is Thanksgiving week. Give me I want to bring something new to the table for the family Thanksgiving. Give me something, Camp. Dazzle me here. How am I gonna?
All right.
How am I gonna make an entrance?
Here's
with a
a dessert.
Okay.
All right. And it's so simple, even you can do it.
Okay. Good. You have my attention.
Get a 9x11 or a 9x13 pan.
Okay.
Do one of two things: tin foil it, or if it's glass, grease it.
Okay.
You know what that means?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that means butter.
No. This is going to be a very high caloric meal, so you want to limit by taking the butter out. Go get that oil.
Gotcha.
Olive oil spray.
Gotcha.
All right?
Okay.
Just spray the whole thing.
All right.
And then get a big pot of water and start steaming it, and go buy Hershey's chocolate bars.
Okay.
Just a plain bar. All right.
How many?
That. I would say 30.
Okay.
Well, they're just the little thin bars, right? Yeah. I think they come in 4 in a packet. Probably 8 packets. So
okay.
28 to 32.
Right, I gotcha.
Break them up and put them in a bowl, and put the bowl into the steaming water.
Okay.
And now you're going to need to pay attention to it. All
okay.
Right? And you're going to stir it. And you're going to stir it until it's all melted. Then you're going to take it out. Make sure you have gloves on or something. Don't just pick it up. And you're going to pour it into that. Oh, I forgot something. Hold on. Before you do that, you're going to go buy just one box of graham crackers.
Okay.
All right. You're going to take the graham crackers, and you're going to take a hammer, and you're going to beat the hell out of them.
Okay, good.
Which I enjoy doing. All right? Because you want dust.
Yeah.
All right?
I got teenagers, so I'll probably really enjoy that. Yeah.
So now is where you use your butter. Get 2 sticks of butter, melt it, and pour it into a whole bag. You need 1 bag of graham crackers.
Okay.
Beaten up, put that in a bowl, pour the butter in, stir it, and then take it and dump it into your 9x13 pan, and then press down and get a very thin crust.
Okay.
All right, melted. Take that and bake it for 20 minutes. Sprinkle some salt. Not a lot, but just sprinkle some. I use sea salt.
Sea salt, yep.
Sprinkle sea salt on it. Okay, now you've got that. You pull it out, and while it's hot, while that's cooking, you melt your chocolate.
Chocolate, all right, got it.
Take your chocolate and pour your chocolate into it. Okay? Let that sit, and then go get a bag of marshmallows. All right? And if you can get the little tiny ones, I get the big ones.
Yes.
And I take them and I split them. And that takes a while because you're going to take. And then you decorate it and put the half of the marshmallow on top of the chocolate. Don't get them dirty on the top. All right? Don't be clumsy. Just place them there side by side so all you see is the top of marshmallows. Put your oven on broil. Put it in there for about, you got to watch it because it's just like you're roasting a marshmallow. It's just like that. If fire catches it, you're done, right? So, and you get it till it becomes golden brown.
Perfect.
And you're watching it. It takes 2 minutes, maybe 3, depending on your oven. Pull that out, let it sit for about 30 minutes, and then stick it in the refrigerator. You will be, and then pull it out. Once it's spent the night in the refrigerator, pull it out. The chocolate will have hardened. You're going to take a knife and you're going to cut it into small pieces through the marshmallows. So, like there's a gap there between each marshmallow that you laid. Gap it, and you have a piece like this.
Each marshmallow is its own piece.
I guarantee you that everybody there will be begging you for that recipe. And they'll be saying, oh, my God, this is one of the best things I've ever eaten. And tell them, oh, it took all day.
Yeah.
You don't want the recipe. It's too much work.
I can't even remember all the steps.
Right. It's the most simplest thing, and it's so good. And I've never, ever met a woman that didn't like that because women love chocolate.
Yep.
And it tastes like a s'more, the graham cracker with a little salt and the chocolate and that. Now, the last time I made it, I thought I'd outsmart myself and I'd melt some caramel and put some caramel in it. Didn't work. It was awful. Don't put the caramel in.
Okay. All right. I love it, Camp. And yes, it does sound simple enough.
Simple recipe.
Enough.
And I'm telling you, if you try that, you'll be amazed how good it is.
Some chicken tenders for Camp. So there you go. All right, let's do this, and we'll take the final break. Camp can,
who did this?
Give that its due diligence, and we'll come back. We'll take a look ahead to the Toledo game coming up on Saturday. We'll be back with more of the Oakland Basketball Show live at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills.
Your Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Drives to the basket, and it's in.
The biggest games on the blacktop.
4-3. Of course. Borowski from 3.
We need you there.
Golden Grizzlies fans, get out your dancing shoes.
Your Oakland University Golden Grizzlies.
Drives to the basket, and it's in.
The biggest games on the blacktop.
4-3. Of course. Borowski from 3.
We need you there.
Golden Grizzlies fans, get out your dancing shoes.
Oakland Basketball Show. We're live at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills. He is the coach, Greg Campy. My name is Neil Rule. Happy to have you with us. As always, the Oakland Basketball Show brought to you by Henry Ford Health. And, of course, Henry Ford Sports Medicine, the official team physicians for Oakland University and you. For more info, visit henryford.com/athlete.
The only thing missing are the cows.
Happy cows, real
Where are the
milk.
happy
Yeah.
cows? I'm happy. I got my Diet Dr. Pepper. I got chicken fingers or chicken tenders sent to me.
You did.
Nobody will tell me where they came from. and seasoned fries. How can life be better?
No, it can't get better. Toledo, Saturday night, and this is a tall challenge, and Toledo has been really one of the class programs of the MAC for a very, very long time. It's tough to go there.
They've won 4 MAC championships in a row. They have a really good team again this year, although they're coming off, unfortunately for us, they're coming off the worst game they've played in years. They got pounded in the championship game of their Thanksgiving tournament yesterday. That came at a bad time for us. But again, it's a chance to learn and get better. It's against a great offensive program. They're known for their offense, so we're going to find out about our zone. 2 years ago, we went there and played them early, and they destroyed us. I mean, they scored 100 points on us, which that hasn't happened very often. So it'll give us a real chance to. I got napkins delivered to me.
I know.
Too, man. This is great. It'll give us a chance to find out exactly where we are with our zone because we open league play the next game against the best offensive team in our league. So it's a huge game for us. And I'm not saying it's a huge game, win or loss. Yeah, we need to win. I understand that. But I'm also smart enough to understand that at this time of the year, we need to get better. And the game we have to win is the Wright State game. We got Wright State and Youngstown back-to-back. Those are the games. And so I don't want to sell my soul to try and win a game at Toledo. I want to beat Toledo because it's a great rivalry and it'd be a great win for us. You beat Toledo at Toledo, it's a Tier 2 win. It's a game that'll help you in seeding. If you do make the NCAA tournament, there's a lot of reasons that you want to play well and beat them. They've beaten us 2 years in a row. When Jamal Cain was here, we beat him pretty bad. Then we went to their place and they spanked us. They beat us bad, and then they came here last year and beat us by 1. So they've beaten us 2 years in a row. It's a great rivalry. I love their coach. Todd's a great guy. He's a hell of a coach. I'm from that area, so all that's important. I'm not even sure what that is, but
ranch. It's got to be ranch.
That's ranch.
Right? Yeah, chicken tenders, ranch. Are you a big ranch guy, Ken?
No, I don't eat ranch.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's okay. Thank you for bringing it. No, I'm a blue cheese guy.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, blue cheese.
There's no doubt.
I was up in, I went to Mayo, Michigan the day after the game to speak. Ty McGregor, a former player of mine's daughter, was running a thing for her high school, and she invited me to come speak on leadership to a bunch of high school students. So I went up there, and I stopped in the middle of nowhere at the jerky factory.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. And they had smoked cheeses and that. So I'm trying a little bit of everything. I got home. They all tasted the same. Like smoke.
Yeah.
Give me a good blue cheese any day. So.
Oh, Toledo. Good program.
Who?
Toledo.
Okay.
Good program, right?
Yeah, it's an important game. There's no question. We want to get things right, feel good about ourselves. But the key is we're going to find out if we can guard a high potent offensive team that isn't a high major. You go to Illinois and you stop a team that's averaging 90-some points a game and hold them to 66. You go to Kansas, who's averaging in the 90s, is number 1 team in the country, and they only get 78. You feel real good about yourselves, right? I feel real good about our defense. But we're not playing Kansas and we're not playing Illinois to win our conference. We're playing teams like Toledo. So can we do it where there aren't 14,000 people in the stands, where we are a prohibited underdog, and this is a moral victory? It's not. Saturday's not a moral victory. There is no moral victory Saturday. We got to go guard them. And if we make shots, we'd have a chance to win.
Camp, they have the Michigan State game. They're playing in Maui, right, at the Maui Invitational. They just flashed a stat up there. They said Michigan State shooting 22% from 3 as a team. And I have noticed that around college basketball. It seems like three-point shooting is down a little bit. What do you make of that?
Well, when I talked to him a couple days ago, and he was bitching about we're shooting 22%, and I go, Tom, we're at 17. He goes, what? Yeah, we're at 17. He goes, then you don't want to hear from me. And he's right. I didn't want to hear from him. They did that last year, and we really thought we had a chance to beat them with our zone last year at their place. They came into the game, they were shooting 25, 27%. And then ended up, we were the game that changed it for them, and then they shot over 40% as a team the rest of the year. So he's going through the same thing we are. He knows he's got guys that can make it. It's a matter of getting there.
So that will about do it for the Oakland Basketball Show. Any final thoughts, Camp? Got about 10 seconds.
Well, you can bitch at me. I'm wearing I pointed to the wrong side. I'm wearing a Monterey Peninsula Country Club shirt instead of an Oakland Grizzlies.
Yeah, at least I'm on brand.
Yeah, I mean, you could bitch at me about not being professional here, but what a golf course this is. I mean, this golf course is unbelievable. I had to buy something just to say I was there.
All right, the GOAT, Jimmy Kennedy's telling me in my ear that the time is up. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We appreciate you coming on up, spend that time with your families, and Saturday night, of course, Toledo and Oakland, 7 p.m. For the coach, Greg Campy, my name is Neil Rule. Thanks for showing up to RJ's Pub and listening to the show. Well, see you later. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it, man.